Close the gate. Someone's met its maker. Looks like a pigeon. It's been absolutely destroyed by something. Don't know whether that's a bird of prey, but yeah, someone's had a nice snack. Bit of pigeon, why not? Welcome to a new video. I am back on the bank, and today you join me making what could be an epic video. I have got a new fishing toy, which if it works and does what it's supposed to, we can make some really cool content moving forward. I'm not going to reveal it yet. I need to find some fish to start with. As always, location is absolutely key. So I'm going to have a walk around this lake, see if I can see any fish showing. Hopefully I can find something to drop on. Winter location is even more important than any other time of the year. They shoal up, it's obviously a lot harder, the water's colder, and it can be a lot trickier getting a bite. So we need to make sure we're in the right place. So I'm going to carry on walking around, see if I can find some fish, and hopefully we can put a fish on the bank and I can show you this absolute wicked bit of kit that I've got today. So let's crack on, let's go find some carp. Well, everything's ready to go then. I haven't cast out yet because I wanted to talk to you about the kind of focus of this video, or the toy or game changer that I've brought with me today to try and bring you some different content moving forward. Now, I'm not saying this is something new. Other channels have done this, generally bigger channels with a bigger following and a bigger budget. So we are kind of doing this on a budget, if I'm honest, but hopefully if it works, it should be really interesting, and if I'm honest, it's fun. That is the whole point of a lot of what I do in my fishing. It's about having fun, you know, filming different things, trying to make things more interesting for you to watch, and also trying to make things more interesting for me and sort of getting something different out of a session. So I love getting out, getting some fresh air, but at the same time, I love the filming, I love creating content, and I love trying to come up with different ideas and different ways of making videos work. And I think going forward, this could make some really cool content. So what is it, I hear you ask? Well, this is it. An underwater camera. Yes, I have got myself an underwater camera. This is a castable underwater camera. So this is the Westin Explore Cam. So it's a castable camera, more designed at the predator market, where you would be filming lures on the retrieve and get like the fish following and taking the lure as you're dragging it back through the water. But this is actually one of the newer ones they've brought out, which is really light. It's only about 28 grams. So it's like the weight of a feeder in like you know, like a coarse fishing feeder. Really, it's very small, which is really cool, which makes it a lot more diverse, I think, for fishing, which is why I've got it in a carp fishing video. Now you're probably thinking, how am I going to use this in carp fishing? Well, essentially this sets up just like an inline lead. So this little stem here is literally like an inline lead stem, which would go through the middle of the lead. On the bottom of the camera, you've got two little tunnels which this stem passes through. Your line then passes through that stem. You then attach a swivel on the end. There you go, and you can see the line is passing through there like that. So it's basically a running inline, and then you can pull the swivel into the little rubber grommet on the end, and you've basically got your bolt rig. So essentially that is like an inline lead, and that is why I think I'm going to be able to cast this out with a rig and fish it like an inline lead and see if I can get a bite on camera. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work. It probably won't first time. It's probably going to take a few goes, but it's going to be fun and it's going to be interesting. And if I can at some point capture a bite on film, it's going to be really cool. So that is the plan going forward. I don't know if it's going to happen today, but that is the new toy. Obviously, we're going to be documenting the session as a normal session anyway, so you're going to get your nice fishing fix. Hopefully we can get a bite. But yeah, let's stop talking. Let's get the rig on it. So the rig is £9 mono, very simple rig. I've got a size 8 hook, and the reason for that is I do just want to try and get a bite. So if I do even pick up a bream or something, I'm happy with that today, because it's obviously going to show what the camera can do. Now, I've got a quick change swivel on there. I'm going to just pull that little sleeve down, which is basically no different to a carp rig. And then I've got my hook length on there. I've got a little S7 dumbbell, and that is the rig. Now, these blades, which I think are designed to actually stop it twisting when you're lure fishing, I think are actually going to act as a little tripod and just keep that camera up off the bottom slightly, which hopefully will mean that we'll be able to see the rig. Now, I don't know if this is too long or too short. It's obviously a lot of experiment in this. So we're going to chuck it out, see what happens. Hopefully we can get a bite and go from there. So let's get it out in the wet stuff and let's see if we can catch one. This is going to be epic. Here we go. So I've got to turn the camera on. So I've got a glowing light there. So that looks like the camera is now on. I've put a little mesh bag on just to stop any tangles and to add a bit of attraction. So what we do is we just flick it out. It's sinking slowly. I thought it was going to sink a bit faster than that. The line's not sinking very well, is it? Yeah, it's not got a huge amount of weight to it. This is all trial and error, obviously. Right, we're going to leave a very loose drag. I ain't got no way of putting the rods on here very well. Right, rod's going to have to sit on an angle because it isn't the best rod setup, to be honest. The swim's quite awkward to get the rods in. Right, see if that'll work anyway. Yeah, not sure. Not sure if that's actually working. I always feel it's not heavy enough. Right, I'll put a few freebies out. I have no idea if that is even presenting, if I'm honest. Right, well, you've seen rod 1, which was the camera going out. Rod 2 is more of a conventional setup. I've got exactly the same rig. I'm using a £9 hook length on this one, 2-ounce lead on a leg clip, and then a little mesh bag of the Maxi Cray-Mix. Hook bait is an S7 dumbbell. Very, very similar setup. Just fishing a bit finer today instead of my normal conventional rigs. Just something I fancy trying at the same time as using the underwater camera. So anyway, I'm going to flick this one out just to the left. Nice, good bit of depth there. It's probably why that camera's taken so long to get to the bottom, because it is actually quite a decent depth. Right, both rods are fishing. Let's see if we can get one. So the rods are out, we are fishing. I've made a makeshift back rod rest out of some branches because it turns out there's a solid piece of concrete across the back of here, which the platform is lent on, and I didn't realise, so I can't get a back rod rest in. Normally I fish the rods either side, but I only had one short and one long bank stick with me today, so I've had to just use the short bank stick and push it down into the slats on the platform, and it is set out there okay now. But anyway, the camera itself, I'll be honest, it didn't go out that well, mainly because it is so light, it took ages to sink to the bottom. I think it's presenting, but I'm not too sure. But these are the things that obviously we need to play around with and work out. So it's going to take a little bit of messing around with. I think it could end up being that I need to modify it to maybe make it more suitable for carp fishing. I don't know if Western will look at bringing out something which you can use on there to make it more for fishing on the deck. I don't know, but I definitely need to try and have a play around with it and make it more suitable for this kind of fishing. But it is out there. Hopefully, if we do get a bite, it'll capture the action. And it is all about having some fun and trying something different. So the rods are out. I want a drink. Let's go get the kettle on and see if we get a bite. Well, it is coffee time then. I've managed to get one on the go and I've just been sat watching the water. If I'm honest, I've not really seen a lot. I've not really got much to go on. I've just got into this area because I've caught from here in the past and it's off the back of the wind. It feels a lot warmer and more comfortable over here, so I would imagine carp would probably want to be in this area. Not to say they will be, but just going off of previous experience and sort of previous sessions really. So if something shows, I could move, although the light levels are going already. It's already starting to go and get dark. Amazing how quick it happens. You know, you come out for like a 2 or 3 hour session and before you know it, it's getting dark. You know, once you've done a bit of filming, got the rods out and that, you're literally losing the light, and it's so tricky filming these kind of sessions, especially when you bring along a new toy for underwater filming. Now, today probably wasn't the ideal session to do it, but I thought it was going to be fun. You know, I'm all about fishing for fun and fishing for my own enjoyment and just trying to document that, and hopefully it inspires you guys. You know, you find it interesting. It's somewhat fun to watch when you're not out on the bank yourself. So, you know, the idea of the underwater camera, I think going forward will be great. I think I just need to use it in the right situation, the right venue with the right sort of clarity, the right light levels. You know, it's not going to be something we can use all the time, but I think what I'd be doing is probably making sure it's charged, having it in the bag, and on the right day in the right situation, putting it into action and maybe being able to get that bite on camera. But it's still fun giving it a go. It's still nice getting out on the bank, obviously. And if we do get something, well, it'd be nice for a rod to rattle. But anyway, I'm going to finish my coffee, watch the water, and hopefully the camera does a bite. We appear to have a customer. It's probably a bream. Why couldn't you pick up the camera rod so we could have witnessed that on a bite cam, eh? The rod back out, not the intended quarry, but nice to have had a bite. Oh, that's a nice drop. We've had a bite, come on! And it was on the wrong rod, it was on a leg clip, and it was a bream. So, yeah, that didn't count, but we've had a bite. No, on a serious note though, yeah, we have had a bite, we've had a bream. It wasn't on the camera, which was a shame. It was on the other rod, which is about right. But nice to have had something happen. Still don't know if that counts as a blank saver or not, because I'm carping. Obviously it doesn't. But yeah, we've had a bream. So I did say I was going to put on some smaller baits to try and at least catch a fish. I was obviously hoping it was going to be on the camera, but as it always is the way, it didn't go to plan. But anyway, I've now got the bite cam rolling. So I found a GoPro. Oh, we got a bite. Yeah, we got a bite. Go on. Oh, we've got another customer. Is that dropped off? No, no idea. Let's have a look. Ooh, I think that's dropped off. Yeah, it has. What? Well, clearly that was another bream. Getting a lovely drop out in that area there. Back in action. Well, that ended up dropping off. I think it was a bream. I think it flopped off before I even got to the rod, to be honest. But I think I was saying I've got a GoPro 7. It's my old GoPro. I don't use it for sort of any sort of handheld stuff or anything like wearable anymore because stabilization is terrible. But I've decided to use it as a static cam. So I've got it down on the rods just down there, just filming any bites. And that's what I'm going to try and do going forward, is try and capture some more bites on camera, because it is fun and it's cool to watch and we all get a buzz out of it. Even if it's someone else's rod going, it's still a wicked feeling to hear one scream off. So yeah, we're going to try and get some more bite cam stuff, and obviously moving forward we're going to try and do some more with the underwater stuff. Now, it's not worked today. The light levels are getting too bad now, so I know it's not going to really happen anymore. So that side of it's done, but hopefully we can at least get a carp before we go home. I'm on a bit of a blanking spree at the moment. It's not great, but hopefully we can turn it around at some point. If not today, maybe on the next session. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm getting out on short, limited time, trying to make the most of it. You know, my actual fishing time, if I'm going out and doing a 2 to 3 hour session, my fishing time is probably half of that, because I'm mucking around filming everything. My actual concentration on the fishing is half of the actual session itself. So when I say I'm doing a 3 hour session, I'm more or less doing an hour and a half. So that is what it's like sometimes. But one thing I did want to mention is we've currently got a competition running. So if you want a chance to win yourself some goodies, some bait, go and check out last week's video. There is a giveaway active in that video, and it will get announced in next week's video for the winner. So you can still get involved, so go and check it out, and you might have your chance of winning some freebies, some DNA baits basically. So anyway, I'm going to go and get into the brolly because it's starting to rain. I'm going to finish off my coffee, slowly pack down, and hopefully we'll have a bite as it's getting dark. So let's keep those fingers crossed. Well, before we end the video then, I just wanted to show you some of the footage. Obviously, I'm at home now and I've had a chance to review some of the footage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play it, talk through a little bit, and obviously show you a little bit of what's been captured, because to be honest, that was obviously the main point of this video. So it does capture some cool things, and it shows that I definitely need to think through the way that I'm using it and the way that I'm going to be able to actually capture a fish potentially picking up the hook bait and getting hooked. But I'll obviously go through all that at another time in another video when I next try this out. For now, let's start the footage rolling and I'll just talk you through what is happening and yeah, what's going on really under the surface. So let's push play. So here you can see the rig is dropping down to the bottom, and straight away you might not notice, but I noticed this quite quickly. The hook length is back on itself. As you can see, it's going out to the right at the bottom of the screen, and that is because it's lassoed around the camera and it's basically not fishing. It's got tangled up. Now, this was sat out there for a while like this. I didn't realise, obviously. Why would you? And it just shows you can quite easily get tangled up. Now, this is a camera, it's got the veins sticking out of it. There's a lot there to get caught up on, and clearly that's what's happened. So I need to obviously rethink that side of it next time. There's a lot of movement going on here, and it starts to get dragged along the bottom. Well, that's because the camera's really light, and it's even lighter once it's in the water. It's quite buoyant, and it took 25 seconds to sink to the bottom in about 8 foot of water, so quite a long time. And this is me essentially just trying to tighten up to it to obviously get some decent bite indication, and I didn't realise, but I was dragging it along the bottom. So yeah, you can see the lake bed though, nice and silty, and it's not sat there for too long, and straight away some roach start to come in, show some interest. There's quite a lot of fish coming in actually all the time. Looking at it, I've just clipped a few little shots where the fish are kind of in view and you can see them quite well. But yeah, there's constantly roach coming in, and a lot of the footage I didn't use it because it wasn't clear enough, but there's fish in the distance, like quite a lot of fish. You can see like shoals of fish coming through. That fish there has just hit the hook bait, I think, and moved the camera. Obviously not hooked because it's tangled up. The light levels are now starting to go, so I've got this kind of amber kind of coloration to a lot of this footage, and there's a lot of fish coming in all the time. I think that there was probably a bream hitting the hook bait, and it's not got hooked, so it's obviously caused quite a lot of disturbance to the camera. It's obviously shaking it around a bit, but there's constantly fish coming in, kicking up silt, looking around for food on the bottom, and generally just sort of showing interest in the camera. Now, I don't know if that's the camera itself or whether that is the scent coming from the hook bait. Obviously a couple of fish have tried to take it. It's obviously tangled up, so they've not been able to. But the camera out was in the lake in total for about an hour. I filmed for about an hour before the battery died, and a lot of the footage is very similar. Unfortunately, quite a lot of it is quite poor. You can't see much, but I picked out some of the footage where the fish are quite close to the camera, so you can see them quite nicely, and obviously it just lets you sort of see what's going on down there. You know, that there is a better stamp of roach, to be honest. That's not a bad fish, but yeah, it's quite interesting. We'll finish off on this guy who was very fascinated by the camera, and he slopes off to the side, and yeah, it's very cool. Hopefully you guys appreciate the footage. Going forward, I think we're going to be able to capture some really cool footage. We just really need to think about how we're going to use it, and obviously the presentation to be able to make sure that the hook bait is banging shot every time. Unfortunately, it is a blank on the carp front. It didn't happen, but I hope you like the idea moving forward of us trying to catch a fish on camera underwater. I think it'd be really, really cool to try and get it, and that is the goal for 2025, is to try and get a fish, pick up the hook bait and record it on the underwater camera. Now, got a few different ideas of how to do it, not just with that Westin, obviously castable camera, but I've got a few other ideas as well. So we are going to play around with that a little bit next year and try and see if we can make it happen. I think it'd be really cool to get it on footage. It's almost a little bit of a filming goal for us, is to try and actually make that happen and put an underwater bite literally on film as it unfolds. So it would be cool to do. I know people have done it. It's nothing new. Not trying to say we're doing anything different to what's already been done, but it's almost a filming goal for ourselves. We would love to try and actually achieve that and put a fish picking up the hook bait, getting hooked and bolting, and obviously playing it back to the bank. It'd be really, really cool to actually capture that and put it in a film. So yeah, hopefully we can do it. Hopefully you guys would be interested in seeing it. If you would, then obviously let us know in the comments below. If you think it's a terrible idea, let us know. If you think it's great, then also let us know that as well, and give us some thumbs ups to let us know that it's a good idea. But yeah, we didn't really get the underwater footage, I don't think, in this one. I'll review the footage. Some of it might come out, some of it might not, but hopefully it's given you the idea moving forward what we're going to try and do and hopefully achieve, and hopefully you guys will get on board with that and support that journey. So anyway, I'm going to get going and head home now. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button if you're new, and also check out last week's video, because I announced a giveaway, or Hugh did actually. Was it Hugh? Yeah, Hugh announced a giveaway in that video where you can win yourself some DNA baits goodies. So Go check out that video now, get yourself entered and win some free bait. Anyway, I'm getting going. If you're getting out, be lucky. See you in the next video. Tight lines. I never say that. Get on the bank, be lucky. See you in the next one. Next Tuesday, 6:30. Boom. Walking back to the camera, where I catch a fish. Quite a back get heavy today. Hello, Robin.